Garamagas, thank you, Cahirlock, and welcome Minister Collins here today with us, and great to be speaking about the measures that have been put in place to support students from the Ukraine that are coming here to Ireland. You know, we're not just saying it, we're doing it, and we can see it in every town and village across Ireland, the supports that have been put in place, volunteers helping out in all the centres. Minister, I know that we've seen just such accelerated change under the Department of Further and Higher Education, Research, Innovation and Science. We're seeing new technological universities being rolled out in every single region across Ireland. That means that education is accessible in every town, in most towns, maybe not every town, but in most towns in every county across Ireland. I know that this was commenced as well with Minister Mary Mitchell-O'Connor previously. We're also seeing the reform of the CEO. So in other words, students now looking at it this year get to see further and higher education options and apprenticeships. So, you know, it's absolutely incredible that that's happened this year. And this is all following on from the development of this brand new department. There's also been support, Minister, for our students and researchers through the Health Research Board, the Irish Research Council and Science Foundation Ireland, for our researchers and our students. And that has led to a trust in science. And this cannot be underestimated, that trust in science through the agencies now under your department ensured that we had such a high level of take-up of the vaccine. I cannot underestimate the work that's been done, in particular with schools through SFI over the past 20 years. And that trust has passed through because we now have household names with our professors, such as Luke O'Neill and Kingston Mills, who speak to us on a regular basis. And that is trust in our experts and in science that comes from the investment that we've seen at primary, secondary school level and at third level. But now, Minister, we face the devastating war in the Ukraine and millions fleeing conflict. Last week, Minister, we were very fortunate in Roscommon. We had Minister Helen McEntee from the Department of Justice who paid us a visit, and we were able to visit the Dunaman Fáilte Centre just outside of Roscommon town. In this centre, we have the Divine Word missionaries who have allocated this premises to be used as a centre for people coming from the Ukraine. They're also working with Roscommon County Council, with Sinead Budai from the Roscommon Volunteer Centre and the Roscommon Lions Club. They donated over €10,000 to the families that are based here. But it's so important that it's down to the volunteers, it's down to the local authorities who have to fund these centres and support the people in these centres. Minister, I met with young men and women, some medical students. I met with doctors, paediatricians, software engineers. I met young mothers with their babies who travelled thousands of miles to find sanctuary in County Roscommon and here in Ireland, and who have had to leave the fathers behind. It's the incredible resilience and strength of this people that I so admire. And we had the opportunity to speak with translators when we were there, because of course the huge challenge is, you know, access to language. It's just been able to understand each other. Minister, a young person told us he will never forget what Ireland has done for them, but I believe, Minister, that it is us in Ireland that will be enriched by the people coming to our country for shelter. And these people wish to contribute to our community. They wish to work as soon as they're able, and to be able to say thank you by their actions, not just by their words. Minister, we also have to support the students for young families that are coming here at primary, secondary and third level. We need English language supports, which I know Minister Foley has spoken about in schools in primary and secondary. And I very much welcome the one-stop shop that you've mentioned that's going to be hosted in Maynooth University, that is, I suppose, coordinated through the IUA and the THEA. But we're going to see a number of people that have been funded there that will support students, sort of like a help desk, not admissions, I understand that, but at least that there will be hopefully admissions within each of our universities that will also work with this too. In terms of healthcare, Minister, we have a huge demand in Ireland and a lot of challenges in recruitment and retention. I'm very aware that the deans of the medical schools across all of our universities are undertaking an assessment in programmes in the medical schools in the Ukraine. Basically, how can they align our Irish students programme with that in the Ukraine as well, and a recognition of the medical and the, I suppose, dentistry qualifications as well. And that will encourage us and enable us to facilitate how students continue their studies here. The Irish government in recognising people from the Ukraine as citizens of Ireland under the EU International Protection Act, that means that we are recognising that they have the same access to work, same access to education. Minister, there is a whole of government response here. We are recognising, as I mentioned, the students from the Ukraine. You've also spoken about the SUSI supports increased by €200 this year. This means that these students coming from the Ukraine will also be able to access these supports. The eligible thresholds increased by 1,000. The qualifying distance from the universities and colleges down from 45 kilometres to 30k means more students and their families will benefit. Minister, it is crucial that we see that this is going to make a difference in the lives of people that are going to be here with us in Ireland, but also the cost of living fund, the student assistance fund, over 18.5 million this year alone. Again, that's student assistance desks and student welfare. When we were able to visit universities, we talked with students' unions and the importance of this fund. Minister, can I ask you a number of questions? In relation to the educational training boards, we have colleges of further education in many towns and villages across Ireland. They support forums in each local authority. Minister, how are these county liaison committees and the educational training boards working with the local authorities? Are we getting regular updates? Are these been provided to the department? Also in terms of the English language assistance, I've been hearing that there are measures been put in place, perhaps with adult literacy tutors. Again, you might speak to that perhaps within the ETBs, how that's going to be rolled out, and the challenges maybe for the tutors and trainers within the ETBs. You've mentioned that we have over 25,000 people now with us here. 2/3 are female, 1/3 young people under 18. Minister, I suppose, as I mentioned, this is a whole of government approach. Could I ask if the department will be working with other departments, such as the Department of Social Protection, perhaps to look at programmes like the RSS programme, a one-year programme that could be facilitated for women in these areas to work in the community on flexible hours, and perhaps also work towards a qualification. Minister, we've talked, and I know Senator Byrne also mentioned about the recognition of qualifications again, which is crucial. Also, can I ask, is the department working with the Department of Transport around rural transport? Because how are these people going to get to schools? How are they going to get to college? I've spoken this morning already about the Connected Ireland Rural Mobility Plan. Are we going to have updates on that, and how we're going to connect people who are in centres maybe outside of our urban areas to link in with our colleges? Minister, I just want to thank you for your time. I suppose I have heard the requests around a national liaison person that would coordinate between all the departments. Perhaps, Minister, you might be able to enlighten us on how the department is receiving updates. I know that the Cabinet receive regular updates from the Ukraine as well. Garamagath.
Thank you very much.